episode of the famous series Reading a Book with the French accent. Accent français, of course. So, let's start with some tapping on the new book today. Sorry for the little background noises. Okay, so today the book that I'm gonna read is a book that I've also studied at university. This is not my favorite book. Of course not. I'm not a big fan. But I had to read it for the literature courses. And you have to know that in those courses I was 99% of the time sleeping. So I couldn't really tell what this book is about. But I'm gonna read it today. Alright. So the book is called As You Like It. As You Like It. By, for those who know, William Shakespeare. Shakespeare, William Shakespeare, William Shakespeare, Shakespeare. He's a little writer, not very known. William Shakespeare. Okay, so let's start. I'm gonna read the synopsis at the back of the book and switch to my French accent. There we go. French accent activated. All the words a stage, and all the men and women merely players. Rosalind banished by her cruel uncle travels secretly to the forest of Arden, where her exiled father holds court. There, dressed as a boy to avoid discovery, she encounters the man she loves, now a fellow exile, and resolves to remain in disguise to test his feelings for her. One of Shakespeare's most sunny, fast-paced and accessible comedies. As You Like It is an exuberant combination of conceived identities and verbal jousting, brulesque, this is a French word, brulesque and pastoral dream, reconciliations and multiple weddings. Alright, and I'm gonna drink some coffee. Of course. I can't read a book without my coffee, my cafe. A sip of coffee, une gorgée de café, of course. So, let's get started. Let me find the page. Introduction. Introduction. No. No, further reading, no. Okay. Let's read. Okay, As You Like It. Enter Orlando and Adam. Orlando, as I remember, portion have I spent, that I should come to such penury? Know you where you are, sir? Oh, sir, very well. Here in your orchard. I don't know how to say that word, but orchard. Orchard. Know you before whom, sir? I. Better than him, I am before knows me. I know you are my eldest brother, and in the gentle condition of blood you should so know me. The courtesy of nations allows you my better, in that you are the first born, but the same tradition takes not away my blood. Were there 20 brothers betwixt us, I have as much of my father in me as you, albeit I confess you coming before me is nearer to his reverence. Oliver, threatening him, what boy? Orlando, seizing him by the throat, come, come, elder brother, you are too young in this. Wilt thou lay hands on me, villain? I am no villain, I am the youngest son of Sir Rowland de Boys. He was my father, and he is thrice a villain that says much a father begot villains. Where thou, not my brother. I would not take this hand from thy throat till this brother had pulled out thy tongue for saying so. Thou hadst railed of thyself. Adam coming forward, sweet masters, be patient, for your father's remembrance be at accord. Let me go, I say. I will not till I please. You shall hear me. My father charged you in his will to give me good education. You have trained me like a peasant, obscuring and hiding from me all gentlemanlike qualities. The spirit of my father grows strong in me, and I will no longer endure it. Therefore, allow me such exercises as may become a gentleman, or give me the poor allottery my father left me by testament. With that I will go by my fortunes. And what wilt thou do? Beg when that is spent? Well, sir, get you in. I will not long be troubled with you. You shall have some part of your will. I pray you, leave me. I will no further offend you than becomes me for my good. Get you with him, you old dog. Is old dog my reward? Most true, I have lost my teeth in your service. God be with my old master, he would not have spoke such a word. Excellent Orlando and Adam, is it even so? Begin you to grow upon me. I will physic your rankness, and yet give no 1,000 crowns, neither. Hola, Denis, enter Denis. Cause you worship. Was not Charles, the Duke's wrestler, here to speak with me? So please you, he is here at the door and importuneth access to you. I think they are speaking with all the words. It's pretty difficult to read. Alright. Call him in. 'Twill be a good day, and tomorrow the wrestling is. Good morrow to your worship. Good Monsieur Charles. What's the new news at the new court? There's no news at the court, sir, but the old news. That is, the old duke is banished by his younger brother, the new duke, and 3 of exile with him, whose lands and revenues enrich the new duke. Therefore he gives them a good leave to wander. Can you tell if Rosalind, the duke's daughter, be banished with her father? Oh no, for the duke's daughter, her cousin, so loves her, being ever from their cradles bred together, that she would have followed her exile, or have died to stay behind her. She is at the court, and no less beloved of her uncle than his own daughter, and never two ladies loved as they do. Where will the old duke live? They say he is already in the forest of Arden, and a many merry men with him, and there they live. Like the old Robin Hood of England, they say many young gentlemen flock to him every day, and fleet the time carelessly, as they did in the golden world. What you wrestle tomorrow before the new duke? Marry do I, sir, and I came to acquaint you with the matter. I am given, sir, secretly to understand that your younger brother, Orlando, has a disposition to come in disguised against me to try a fall. Tomorrow, sir, I wrestle for my credit, and he that escapes me without some broken limbs shall acquaint him well. Brother is but young and tender, and for your love I would be loath to foil him, as I must for my own honor if he come in. And a sip of coffee. Alright. Therefore, out of my love to you, I came either to acquaint you with all, that either you might stay him from his intendment, or brook such disgrace, well as he shall run into, in that it is a thing of his own search, and all together against my will. Charles, I thank thee for thy love to me, which thou shalt find I will most kindly requite. I had myself notice of my brother's purpose arraign, and have my underhand means laboured to dissuade him from it. But he is resolute. I tell thee, Charles, it is the stubbornest young fellow of France, full of ambition, an envious emulator of every man's good parts, a secret and villainous countriver against me, his natural brother. Therefore use thy discretion. I had a leave thou didst break his neck at his finger, and thou were best look to't. For if thou dost him any slight disgrace, or if he do not mightily grace himself on thee, he will practice against thee by poison, and trap thee by some treacherous device, and never leave thee till he has thou and thy life by some indirect means or other. For I assure thee, and almost with tears I speak it, there is no one so young and so villainous this day living. I speak but brotherly of him, but should I anatomize him to see as he is, I must blush and weep, and so must look pale and wonder. I am heartily glad I came hither you. If he come tomorrow, I'll give him his payment. If ever he go alone again, I'll never wrestle for prize more, and so God keep your worship. Farewell. which now I'll go about. Exit. Alright. I don't know if you understood anything that I said between the old words and the French accent. But this is the end of this podcast, of this video. I hope you liked it. I wish you a great night and above all, sweet